Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by Lianhe Xiaobao, French President Emmanuel Macron has committed to accelerating the delivery of advanced military equipment and interceptor missiles to Ukraine to help defend its airspace against an increase in Russian airstrikes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky shared on Telegram that during his discussion with Macron regarding Ukraine's critical air defense shortages, France agreed to expedite the supply of its latest weaponry and missiles. Zelensky also expressed gratitude to Macron for confirming France's readiness to grant missile production licenses. Currently, Ukraine is eagerly awaiting the delivery of the new Samsung Solar Wynite and Tevany NTE STE NTUSTE ballistic night 7s of this Kampicha in their somely Bajer and Storty the Tevan Merstry 2 Bikran. Massasil, we make aid to the Aberdy, to say Russianistat, the Asiation, would not arrive until next spring. The latest diplomatic efforts reflect an urgent push to provide Ukraine with necessary defensive means. Over the past months, intensified Russian attacks on cities like Kyiv have caused significant civilian casualties. Amid these developments, Ukraine's allies, led by France and the UK, are scheduled to meet to discuss ways to increase pressure on Moscow. According to a report by Sing Tao, the labor union of Hyundai Motor, South Korea's largest automaker, staged a full-day strike on Friday, August 21, marking its first comprehensive walkout since 2016. The strike involved approximately 39,000 union workers across major manufacturing plants in Ulsan, Jejuan, and Asan, bringing all production lines to a complete halt for 16 hours. Industry estimates suggest that the union's cumulative strike actions this year have reached 60 hours, causing production disruptions of up to 120 hours. This has resulted in a loss of approximately 55,000 vehicles in output, translating to sales losses exceeding 2.3 trillion Korean won, approximately 13.02 billion Hong Kong dollars. The primary points of contention between labor and management include demands for wage increases, an extension of the retirement age, job security amidst advancements in AI and automation, and the reinstatement of workers fired for past union activities. While the company stated that the union's demands lack a solid legal basis, it expressed hope to resolve the dispute through dialogue. The union has announced plans for further 4-hour daily strikes on the coming Monday and Tuesday. According to a report by Liberty Times, 6 European Union member states have jointly called for a windfall tax on oil companies across the EU, following a massive surge in corporate profits driven by ongoing conflicts in the Middle East. The finance ministers of Germany, Italy, Austria, Poland, and Portugal, along with Spain's economy minister, sent a joint letter to Ireland's finance minister, whose country currently holds the rotating EU presidency. The letter urges the inclusion of the windfall tax on the agenda for next month's EU finance ministers' meeting in Dublin. The push comes after energy companies experienced skyrocketing profits since late February, when critical shipping routes like the Strait of Hormuz were blocked due to military conflict. In the letter, the ministers highlighted that oil companies are enjoying profits that outpace the rise in crude oil prices, leaving consumers to bear the brunt of rising living costs. While several of these nations have previously called for national-level taxes on energy profits, the EU has not yet indicated a formal intention to levy a union-wide tax. An Israeli drone strike in southwestern Syria has injured several people. According to Syria's foreign ministry, Al Jazeera reported that the attack targeted a small delivery truck on a main road near the town of Beit Jin in the Damascus countryside. Neighbors rushed a wounded driver, who was delivering goods, to the hospital, where he remains in stable condition. Syria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs strongly condemned the attack, calling the targeting of a civilian vehicle a flagrant violation of its national sovereignty and a blatant breach of international law. In contrast, the Israeli military confirmed the strike, asserting that it had targeted a terrorist preparing immediate attacks in southern Syria who posed an imminent threat to Israeli forces. Security analysts suggest that Israel is increasingly treating southern Syria as a security zone to prevent any security vacuum, utilizing drone strikes rather than ground forces. Despite the escalating tensions, a Syrian diplomatic source told Al Jazeera that Damascus remains committed to de-escalation and is pursuing a security arrangement with Israel through United States mediation based on the 1974 disengagement agreement. According to Al Jazeera, a coalition of 102 former French and British diplomats has released an open letter urging the governments of France and the United Kingdom to jointly impose sanctions on Israel. The signatories, who include former United Nations ambassadors and Middle East directors, warned that current Israeli policies in the occupied Palestinian territories threaten to permanently dismantle the viability of a future Palestinian state. The open letter, published by the French newspaper Le Monde, calls for specific and immediate measures, including halting arms transfers, suspending military cooperation, and freezing trade agreements with Israel. Additionally, it demands a ban on trade with illegal Israeli settlements, a restriction on citizens purchasing property in occupied territories, and guaranteed humanitarian access to Gaza. The former diplomats emphasized that both France and the UK, having officially recognized a Palestinian state in 2025, must take concrete action to uphold international law. A spokesperson for the group stated that continued inaction would only breed long-term, irreconcilable violence and further tragedy in the region. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.